Hey, hello everyone. So welcome to our Tagmate webinar series. And let us start. And with me, we have a Yash Balani, and he is actually uh, the team lead for the data collection and tracking team at the Tatvik Analytics. Okay, so let me share with you our agenda. All right. So in this today's webinar topic, we are covering the deliver GA4 projects lightning fast for your clients. See, today's webinar is specially for digital agency who work on many client projects and multiple client projects, right? So let's start with, so what is the agenda for this webinar? So we quickly look into the GA4 and how to track with GA4. And then we will jump into the pre-Tagmate World. Basically, the pre-Tagmate World is it's like a current scenario in current implementation setup, how the digital agency or maybe web analyst, implement a tracking project with the help of the Google Tag Manager. And then we quickly jump to the post-Tagmate World. See, the post-Tagmate World is simply using the Tagmate app, how you implement the tracking project. And basically, it's a comparison between the pre-Tagmate World as well as the post-Tagmate World. And then we will bring you what is in for the agency in Tagmate app. So we will highlight some of the features which is a very useful for the digital agencies. And the most important part, it's a Tagmate demo. And I will walk through with the features, which is very useful for the digital agencies. And then in end, there is a question answer session. So let's start with. So GA4, the future of measurement. See, back in the 2020, specifically in the October month, Google announced a GA4 launch. Okay, so it is actually an upgradation version of Universal Analytics. But why Google actually, upgrading this GA4? There are several reasons. So let's say one of the reasons is to, change the data models. So earlier, Universal Analytics is a session-based data model, and now it's an event-based data model. So now Google combined web plus app, and now cross-platform journey is very easy to track with the GA4. That is the one thing. The second thing is Google is a master and expert in machine learning capabilities. So now Google is bringing such capabilities with the GA4, and then like predictive matrices, let's say purchase probability, or let's say churn probability and predictive revenue. Now it is actually a possible to see in the GA4 reports. The data integrations now, many of you know that Google GA4 is providing a free integration with the BigQuery, right? And one thing is marketing. So marketing is something like discovering, like if you have a Google Ads account, or let's say BigQuery account, or let's say Merchant Center, and so many other marketing platform. So GA4 is providing good integration with that as well. Okay, so what are the options to track GA4? So we all know, so there are two options. One is global site tag, okay, which is supporting the Google Ads, Google Analytics, DV360, and so many other things. And I think developers throughout the world love this method, right? But yeah, but we highly recommend it with the Google Tag Manager for the digital agency. Why? Because the improved performance that reduce the amount of code that runs on the client side, as well as the secure data collection and consent capability. And of course, many of you know are aware about the server side tagging capability of Google Tag Manager, right? So let's say now imagine if you are an agency owner, okay, and you want to track multiple events of this website, let's say, okay. So let's say these are the events. Uh, let's say if you want to track this menu item, or let's say if you want to track uh, let's say this menu item or CTA buttons, or let's say anything. So what is the basic implementation method or process right now in current scenarios? We all know how to use the Google Tag Manager, right? I'm just giving an overview of what we are doing, right? Let's say, for example, might be Yash Balani would, create an Excel sheet, and, entering all the events that need to be tracked. Okay, then he would write the event parameters and user parameters, and maybe he would enter the data layers and so many things, right? And then he would probably go to the developer, or maybe an in-house developer. Maybe if you are a business owner, then you would, go for the developer outside, and you would, seeking for their help, and then you will explain the all your requirement. Then, developer would implement the all the tags, triggers, variable into the Google Tag Manager. And then there is a cycle of, audit and checking whether data is properly received into the data platform like Google Analytics 4 or not. And so it's a long process. And then finally, you are done. But in between there are so many errors would there, yeah, and you need to solve this. So time is a maximum, right? Cost is a maximum, right? And dependency is great. Okay. So this is what happened to you. You spent a ton of time flip-flopping with developers, right? You burned a ton of cash, and which is true in the processes, because developers are not inexpensive, right? If it is a pre-pandemic era, then we can say the developers are affordable. But in the pandemic era and the post-pandemic era, we all know, right? Developers are not cheap, and it's costly now. So dependency is always there. So you are implementing with the help of your developer, and then you are not sure if your tags are organized or not, whether you are receiving the data accuracy or not, right? So what if we tell you there is another way to do it? Yeah. So introducing Tagmate. So Tagmate is basically a low-code SaaS product that makes GA4 tracking fast, easy, and accurate. How? Let's see how Tagmate does it. Okay. So again, let's back to the process or method that I mentioned earlier. Okay. So identify events is similar. Maybe you do not require Excel sheets, right? You just, according to the tracking requirement, you use Tagmate's pre-built templates. So Tagmates would have a more than 40 pre-built templates, which covers the agency needs, or let's say a particular business owner's needs. So Tagmate covers all the standard, you can say, templates or tracking needs, which would require for every business owner, right? Whether it's a publisher, or maybe a lead generation website, or maybe an e-commerce website, or let's say a simple blogger website, and so on. Okay, so there is a cycle of, let's say, audit and testing, and it's done. So time almost reduced to 50%. In with our user of Tagmate, we noticed that time is reduced to almost 50%. Cost reduced to almost 75%. In some cases, it's a 90%. And dependency almost reduced to 70%. This is an average I am telling. Okay. So what meant more to
Ram,
you?
I have a so,
Okay.
since you have mentioned that Tagmate will increase or decrease my turnaround time, and it will help me implement events without help of developer. So, do you want to say that if my developer implements GTM snippets, then each and everything will be handled and managed by Tagmate directly without developer support?
Not particularly. That's why we call it as a low-code SaaS product. Why? Because we cover more than 40 plus pre-built templates that cover most of the business scenario. And in that case, let's say user do not need, or business owner do not need a developer. But in certain cases, let's say on a custom events, for the custom event, let's say we have another product, it's Tagmate Tracker, and custom events like a CTA buttons on your website, let's say, for example, or a menu click or link click, then the Chrome extension is very helpful to, build the events for that. And the Chrome extension, which is, we call it as a Tagmate Tracker, creates automatically tags, triggers, and variable into the Google Tag Manager. But yes, there are, the complex requirement. There is always a complex requirement with the, businesses, right? In such case scenarios, then we need a developer's requirement. For example, to, we provide a data layer in e-commerce, then data layer need to be inserted in the backend of the website, right? And I think that then developers help is needed, right?
Okay, so I got it. So if it is very crucial with respect to data such as e-commerce, it will still have dependency of developer. For rest of the events, I believe the Chrome extension that you're talking about will suffice my requirement and will help me implement events without need of developer.
Yeah,
Is my
absolutely.
understanding correct?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for asking this question. Yeah. Okay. So these are the 5 core module. We call it as a Tagmate stack, and we cover a UA implementation because we are all working on a universal analytics as of now, and GA4 implementation because, in next year, in July 2023, Google is shutting down the universal analytics that we all know. So we are updating, we are releasing more and more pre-built templates into the GA4 implementation. Right now it's a 40, but on each and every releases, which is 15 day, on each and every 15 days, we are releasing our new features. And this case, we are releasing more and more pre-built templates. UA to GA4 migration because we have a lot of ongoing legacy UA implementation, and then there is a need to have a migration of the GA4. So we have a module which is within a few clicks and few user inputs. You can migrate your UA text to GA4, and in our observation and experience, the client saves more than 80% of cost and time on their migration compared to the manual migration. Then of course the marketing templates, that's includes Facebook pixel as well as Google Ads and Tagmate Trigger. I just mentioned about the Chrome extension in your question. And so these are the 5 modules we are covering right now. Okay, so what is in for the agencies? I think you all are eager to know what is there for the agencies, right? So let me brief about that. The first is the user management. So every, whether the agency is a small or medium or a large scale agency, they want control over their client projects. Okay, because data accuracy, data security, it's a most important part to handle their client projects, right? So we are introducing the user management in which admin can add or delete client or let's say team member. And let's say admin wants to have a complete control over these container, because client give access to container, but you do not want to give the access to your team member, let's say, for example. Then there is a feature for that. And then you can have a downloading the all the data of the whatever you have created from the Tagmate, and this is actually act as a master record, and it will be helpful into your uh, audit or something, or let's say later on you want to add it from the Google Tag Manager, and then you would have a in practical scenario, we all are searching for the master record, right? So we are providing this feature as well. The client dashboard, of course, track these which template is being pushed, or let's say which tags are being pushed, and for in which project for which client, right? So it's a complete dashboard as well. And the one more thing is to unlimited template utilization, right? So these are the main feature we are covering for the digital agencies, apart from the core features, right? All right.
Ram,
So yeah.
for template utilizations, I used Tagmate website a couple of months back, but there was one problem that I was facing. So there was one lead generation client that I was working with,
Uh-huh.
and since the lead generation websites have a lot of forms, probably two or three forms on a single page, and most of the forms were either displaying some thank you message on the particular submission of form, or were redirecting to a thank you page,
Uh-huh.
and for which I wanted to implement form submission events via Tagmate, which I was not able to do. Since after pushing one thank you page or element visibility form submission template, I was not able to reuse the same template again.
Okay.
So, do I have to create different or n number of projects again and again to track each and every form, or is
Uh-huh.
there a better way available for that?
Okay. Okay. So right now we have a feature. I think you have not used Tagmate recently, because the feature we have introduced in our last releases, that is, you can reuse the template for the, multiple push. So for example, in your case scenario, let's say you have a thank you page and you want to use again, and from the Tagmate, then you can use that template again and again. That is, we call it as a reuse of that particular template, the same template, right? Yeah, you are right. Earlier, let's say a couple of months back, we haven't provided such kind of features, but as you mentioned, like you have a you need this feature, then some other digital agencies, they are working with Tagmate, and they also give us a suggestion to introduce such kind of feature. Yeah, thank you for asking this question. Okay, so let's move ahead with the demo of the Tagmate. So I will quickly go into the my Tagmate dashboard. So what I will show you is the feature related to digital agencies. Okay, so for example, this is my dashboard, and I already signed in and completed the onboarding process and all this thing, right? And let's say, for example, this is my tag manager, and I have this much of client. So for example, this client has given the access of this particular container, this client given access to this particular container. And of course, let's say, for example, for the sake of webinar, Tagmate is my customer or my client, and I'm using a Tagmate. Let's say, so these are the container they have provided to me. Okay, so let me back to the Tagmate application. So here you can see the account, and if you click on my account, you will have all these you can say the information of my account, whether it's a subscription, whether it's a billing, or whether it's yeah. So let's say subscription. So this is actually the plan, and this is the product modules and the usage and everything. Okay, so you will get all the idea about this related to module wise. Okay, and I will show you again after the pushing this. Then there is other module as well. Then there is a dashboard, of course. And since this is the prerequisite, as I move to the dashboard, it asks me to connect the GTM account. Okay, so let me connect to GTM accounts. I already added the GTM accounts. Where this is the actually the support for the multiple GTM accounts in the Tagmate. For example, digital agency is having multiple GTM accounts to work for, right? So from the single account of Tagmate, you can connect with your multiple GTM accounts, and by uh, clicking this button, add new, you will connect to more and more GTM accounts, right? So let me select one of the GTM account I have for this webinar. Okay, so dashboard has changed. Now dashboard is asking me to create project. Okay, so right now I do not have any project, so I'm going to create one. Okay, so now it is recommended to give a meaningful name of the project. So let me just give a meaningful name over here, and selecting the target platform. And one more thing which is important, I want to share with you that we are bringing the server side tagging, and actually it is in development, and in upcoming releases we are coming with the server side tagging as well. Okay, now so as you can see, as and when I connected to this particular GTM account, that is Tagmate support, all the tag manager account fetch automatically over here. For example, I want to work on this particular client, so I am just selecting it. Container. Let's say client has shared 2 container. I want to work with this and fetching the workspace. Or as you notice, you can create a workspace from here as well, and container as well. If you have a edit access or admin access, then you can do it. So let's say, for example, this is measurement ID need to enter over here. I think I am in the wrong module. Sorry, guys. I want to go for the GA4 implementation. Okay, and let me start creating project again. This is actually for the GA4. Okay, I am just selecting tag manager account again, and container, and workspace, and just selecting the data platform over here. So I have a Google Analytics open from my account, and I'm just want to collect the measurement ID. Okay, so this is my measurement ID, and I'm just entering over here, and I click the create button, and it's done. So within a fraction of second, the project is created. Now I'm selecting this, and I'm arrived on my dashboard. So as you can see here, your client container and workspace and every details pop up over here, and this is the small statistics over here. And then let's say if you want to implement a template, for example, you want to track form. Okay, then either you go from here from the left navigation, or you can add or you can click this button.
Ram, before you move ahead, I have a small query with respect to GTM account connection.
Okay, okay,
So, see, as an agency, I have multiple GTM account for clients, more than 20.
okay,
And for each of the client, I have to manage different project in Tagmate as of now, right?
okay.
And there is also a chance where client churns, right? So in that
Mhm.
particular case, the GTM access is revoked, but in that particular case, the project still exists in my project tab. So is there any way if we can delete the projects that we have created in the Tagmate?
Right now, there is a no such functionality to delete the project, but yes, we are receiving kind of a suggestion to have it. Then we are definitely working on it. But yeah, I want to share the recommended standard practices when you have a multiple GTM accounts and when you have a multiple containers, right? Here you can say, for example, this two account, let's say for the sake of this webinar, we consider these two account from one client, let's say for example, and few of the websites into, let's say, account number 1, and few of the websites into account number 2, right? So you can, the best practice is to connect both the accounts in the in this segment. Okay, and then we call it project as a as a unit for the one container. That means what? For example, you have a website, and you want to set up a tracking project over there, and then we recommended that one website per one container. Okay, and then and we implement as a one container per project. Okay, so this is the best practices you should follow. Okay, so it's better for the digital agencies to manage later on as well. when you have a user management, and when you give those access to user as well. I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah, yeah. So that delete project feature will be really helpful. I'll be waiting for that feature to roll on because I have a couple of projects that are no longer required, and I wanted to delete it. I want to get those project deleted. Yeah, thanks
Okay.
for your answer.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to share that after pushing templates, I am going to show you the how to implement the template from the Tagmate. Let's say, for example, form submission, and I will highlight some more features that is into upcoming releases we are rolling out. So as of now, let me go with the templates. As many of you know that these are the actually we bifurcate in categories like standard templates having a page view tracking and page sequence, like technology templates, internet speed tracking and page load time and so on. E-commerce, we cover all the enhanced e-commerce data layer. Okay, video engagement, we cover YouTube as well as the JW player as well as the HTML player. And let's say for the page engagement, we cover the reader and scanner. I think all the publisher and all the blog owner require such kind of tracking. So as I earlier mentioned that we cover 40 odd templates, which covers the most of the business scenarios with the businesses, right? And let's say I'm going to form submission, and I click on explore, and then it will open the available templates, like we have already the WordPress contact form 7 thank you page, element visibility, and so on. So WordPress contact form 7, that require a custom HTML, right? If let's say I'm a business owner, and then I want to track contact form 7, so I definitely want a developer, right? But that's why we call it as a low code solution. Let me show you how. I'm just selecting the WordPress contact form 7, and this is the first step. I'm just clicking on it. It will create the custom HTML into my Google Tag Manager. It would take some time because of the so many API calls. Yeah, it's done. Okay. So now I'm moving to the next step. Let's say, for example, this is my website. This is my website. This is my demo website. For example, my client website. And this is actually the WordPress contact form 7. So I need this title. I'm just putting over here, and I know what is actually the form ID. For sake of webinar, I collected the form ID, but yeah, of course you can collect it from you. Go to your WordPress admin and open the form, and you will have this form ID. Okay, so as of now I know this, or else if I select inspect this element, for example, and let's say I'm able to collect the this one is actually the form ID. So I'm just clicking on next and providing the triggering condition. Okay, okay, yeah, that's it. I'm just clicking on push to GTM. So there are few user entries, data entries, and a few clicks, and the process is started. Yeah, all done. So as you can see, log is generated, so template has been pushed. Now come to your question. I want to add something. uh, we are bringing a feature to edit this configuration. Okay, so this is actually we have put this here, but we are working on it. All right. And one more thing I want to highlight is if I download this Excel file as I mentioned, and it will give me the the all this required text triggers and even parameters and all this data into that sheet. Okay, so let me check with my Google Tag Manager. So I'm going to the container. Okay, and I'm going to text. All right. So I'm just sorting out. So 8 minutes ago, a configuration tag has been created automatically with this measurement ID, with this trigger. The custom HTML has been created automatically with this code, and the GA4 event tag has been created. Okay, setting all the event parameters automatically. The custom event has been created automatically with all this trigger. I enter, all right, and setting with this tag. So all done. So now it's Tagmate's job is done. Now digital agencies can start preview and check, and then later on can submit. So this is all about the features we covered with the Tagmate app for the digital agencies. One more thing, as I mentioned, the user management. So user management, we will bring in our upcoming releases, maybe in the next release, because it is in development and all the design and has been done. But I want to share you the what is the actually the design in very short, because I have created a prototype of that, and let me show you how it will be done. So you can actually invite your user. Let's say, for example, I will provide you the module of the user management. Okay, you can invite, you can enter the more than one email address, and the invitation has been sent over to your team member, and they can join via this. So before that dashboard, the team member required to connect with the GTM, and very very simple onboarding processes. And let's say you are admin, and then you will get user list like this way with the status like pending and active. If user is not a user has not accepted your invitation, then you can resend always. And for the active part, always you can share the project, or let's say you can view more. In view more, let's say for example, your user or your team member working on so many projects and pushing so many things, and you want log, then you can see like this way. And of course, if in case of the sharing of project, this is one thing. So sharing of project is fairly simple. So you will have a list of all the projects as an admin, and you just need to select it, and you share it, and that project will be shared to your user. And you can always search your project, or you can filter out to you get the desired project. And by this way, let's say this is the user, your team member of your company, let's say, and the uh, the shared projects would come like this way. And of course, there is a control. Your team member cannot create the project, and they need to contact your admin. So this is a brief of the actually the user management that we are bringing upon. Yeah. So this is all about the demo part. Now guys, let's move towards the uh, question and answer session. I think you all are eager to ask so many questions to us, right?
Yeah, so even I have one more question for you. See, so the features that you just mentioned, that you have this CRUD operation, edit, delete, and update feature available, is on roadmap for the tags that are published via Tagmate. So
Mm-hmm.
what will be the timeline for that? The reason because I'm asking this
Yeah.
is since we are working with multiple clients, there is a time when they want to make some changes in the existing configuration. And currently we do that by going to GTM and making changes. But if I'm working on Tagmate, I expect it to provide me a feature with the editing capabilities. So whatever I
Mm-hmm.
have configured via Tagmate, I can edit it via Tagmate only.
Mm-hmm. So you mean to say that the timeline, I mean, what are the timeline for the edit functionalities in terms of, let's say you want to edit the configuration of the push template, first of all, and then
Yes.
let's say, yeah, okay. So I'm not sure about the exit date, but yeah, it is within, let's say, month, or let's say 1.5 month or so. we are bringing this feature because we are already working on it from the user story point of view or from the design point of view, and we are bringing that, right?
Okay.
So guys, I think let's recap it. This is our current process, and this is the Tagmate process. Now you can see, and just flip flopping, right? And you can see the value, right? And this is what we covered so far uh, uh, with the features of the Tagmate is offering for the digital agencies. Now, the platform is open for the question and answer. Yeah, please. So I think I'm received so many questions over here. Okay, so okay, there is a question. Have you updated the Chrome extension because I found it really hard to use? This is from Mr. Collins. Yeah, we have updated our Chrome extension and we are releasing with the new features. Okay, so we are bringing new features like data layer implementations and form submission tracking. Okay, uh, yeah, we know that because we are working upon the user experience, and we are providing more and more guides and instruction uh, such that I actually a novice user or non-tech user can use it properly. Okay, so currently you can only have one user until you add the agency feature. Yeah, so currently yes, currently it's like admin, or let's say I purchased the subscription plan of the Tagmate and then I am the only user. But yeah, as I said, in our next release, we are coming with the user management. So how many team member can add? And okay, so that is depend upon the subscription plan you purchased, and I think our growth and marketing team have plans on our websites, and you can have a look, or you can send us an email to know more. So I'm just putting I'm just writing into question answer session about our sales email. Okay, next is I have a few clients who wants to move to GA4 from their existing GA3 implementation without missing any existing parameters, which needs too much effort in creating GA4 event tags. How can Tagmate help in achieving successful migration with accuracy? Oh, very nice question. Yes, with our migration module, uh, we are covering in those aspects in which we are mapping the custom parameters with the event parameter as well as a user scope parameter with the user property, and we map the UA property, and in the migration, and with the very very few clicks and very few user inputs, you can migrate the entire tag uh, into the GA4 as well. And of course, I want to add over here that we are migrating the enhanced e-commerce tag properly, okay, with the product and item object. So we have covered this feature as well. So it's a complete migration of enhanced e-commerce tags as well. All right. So these are the questions, and I hope I answered properly. Uh, so any more questions? Okay, there is a questions. Uh, those of users on coming from AppSumo, is there a price to update to agency? Okay, so okay, so our growth team will surely reaching you uh, to answer this question. Okay, there is another question. I want to configure a few GA4 events along with the setting of relevant FB and Google Ads pixel in a single GTM container. Do I have to create separate project for GA4, FB, and Google Ads? Okay, so nice question. Yes, as of now, you need to create a separate project. Uh, you need a separate project for the, let's say, if you want to implement GA4, then you need to create a separate project, as well as if you want to create FB or Google Ads, then you can create, you require to create a project. Okay, so next question is how Tagmate is different from other extension, especially Magento based e-commerce platform have extension for creating tags and GTM. Okay, all right. So so extension basically covers the custom events tracking. Let's say, for example, if event have let's say CTA button. So there are so many CTA buttons on website, right? And everyone has a different DOM structure, right? So the Chrome extension actually captures the CSS through the CSS selector functionality, the entire DOM selector, and accordingly they build the events on this. Chrome extension is right now it's not covering the enhanced e-commerce part. It's a Tagmate app that cover the enhanced e-commerce part, but we are bringing improvement in our enhanced e-commerce tracking. We are coming with the platform based tracking. Let's say you have a Shopify website, or let's say WooCommerce, or let's say Magento or BigCommerce. Then we are providing two options: whether you want to have a standard tracking, default tracking that everyone is providing through their plugin or through their app, or let's say you want to have a detailed data layer implementation with the help of a Google Tag Manager. Then we are bringing this feature in our upcoming releases as well, right? So of course the difference is the data layer, right? And the implementation of that part. I'm not sure about much about the Magento based e-commerce platform and their extension. I'm not sure about whether they provide the complete data implementation or not. But yes, through Tagmate, we are providing the complete implementation in the all these platforms. I hope I able to answer your question, Rajesh. Yeah. So yeah, any more questions? So yes, do you have any questions?
No, Ram, that was it from my side. But I have a few
Yeah.
suggestions with respect to Tagmate applications. I will draft those suggestions and will reach out to the mail ID that you just posted in this chat. Hello at the
Yeah,
rate
sure.
Tagmate.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that is a nice gesture. I think I request all of the attendees who have joined, right? And I would request that please provide your suggestion and feedback to us on the provided email, or there is another email in which you can provide the suggestion or feedback. And I'm just posting to in the question and answer box. Okay. All right. So let's moving further out. I mean, I think uh, this is done from the question and answer session. You can ask if you have questions after this webinar on email that we have provided. There are two emails. You can ask either of you can use that email. Okay. So more export for the browser extension. Okay, all right. Okay. So if I understand your queries well, then I think we should provide more and more guide and instruction within the Chrome extension in which a user can implement very well. For example, one of the digital agencies requested that you should put the meaning of event name. What is the event name? What should be the event name? So we take it this suggestion very well, and we will provide a guide or instruction in such a way that we the what is the SOP of to enter the event name in such a way that there is a standard processes, and I think Google Analytics and Google has provided those SOP, and we are implementing the SOP and with the guide and with our feature as well. Regarding the support from the support of the Tagmate, yes, you can reach anytime with this email and our actually in-app chat box, which is actually very responsive. Within 30 minutes, if it's India time, and maybe it's a different time zone, then would take some more time, maybe after 5 hours. So we are very responsive in that matter. Yeah. So all right. So I think it's question answer done. Or yeah, you can ask questions to our email, or you can just shoot an email with questions. And we have a community on Facebook as well, right? You can reach out to that, and you can shoot the questions on over there as well. Okay, so let's move it to the all right. So this is the poll. Okay, so let me show the result of that. Okay, so your challenges with GA4. So all right, so multiple client management, yeah, of course, yeah, data accuracy, template management, okay, technical expertise required, okay. Okay, so this is very helpful to us. We will actually look into this, and we will, provide such kind of knowledge base, or you can say support or user guides and instructions accordingly. And yes, of course, we are bringing the multiple client management features. Yeah, can agency work on the multiple website of their clients? Yes. Okay. So you are with webinar. Okay. So can agency add their staff into Tagmate? Yes. Okay. And can agency add multiple GTM accounts into Tagmate? Okay. So most of them know this, that you can add. Yeah. You can add multiple GTM accounts into the Tagmate. Yeah. So thank you very much for your voting. All right then. So thank you very much all, and we very appreciate your time you have provided to us to understand more about the Tagmate, and what are the features for the digital agencies. And I hope you are going to use Tagmate and provide us a feedback, because your feedback is very much important to us, and we are improving so much based on the inputs feedback received from our existing digital agencies, right? Okay.
Okay, Ram.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take
Yes.
care.
Thank you. Yes, for your time as well. And yeah, very appreciated. Okay. For your time, and take care, and good night, and bye bye.
Bye. Good night. Thank you.